The first episode of the 4th season of this anime begins with Naofumi and Raptalia flying on a dragon. He reminds us that he was just an ordinary college student until the day he was summoned to another world. Now, he is the shield hero, one of the 4 cardinal heroes. The heroes have always been at odds, but they have finally reached a stage where they might be able to cooperate. However, at the worst possible time, assassins have been sent to his territory from Qten-Lo, the homeland of Raptalia's parents. Raptalia has worn a Miko outfit similar to the attire of their emperor, and that was all the reason they needed. Now, Naofi is on his way to Siltvelt, a place with regular boats to Qten-Lo, to teach those fools a lesson. The day of the Phoenix's revival is approaching, but before it arrives, he wants to resolve this issue which will determine Raptalia's future. They land to take a break, and Naofumi says he must return to his land to reorganize his forces. Suddenly, someone attacks them, but Naofumi blocks the attack just in time. It turns out to be Philo. He asks her what she's doing here, and she tells him that he was the one who asked them to go train. Philo with her explains that they were training and met Vittoria, who told them they would meet Naofumi if they took this path. She also had a request for them to deliver to him. Naofi tells them to leave it for later, as he has a more important problem, and leaves. Vittoria tries to convince him, but to no avail. The Philolio then says it is actually speaking to Vittoria now, relaying his master's words. "If you ignore my request anyway, will you kill the cardinal heroes?" Vittoria replies that she will wait a little longer, but not to blame her if they regret it later. The scene shifts to Naofumi and his party arriving in a town. They see the demi-human girls training together, watched by the young men. They are informed that the shield hero and his team have returned, and everyone rushes to welcome him. He tells them they will reach the Siltvelt border tomorrow, but cannot take the carriage through the teleportation gate. He orders Melty to contact the queen and ask her to prepare a carriage near the border checkpoint. A soldier is dispatched with the message. Melty then asks Naofumi to leave her in charge of his territory, and he agrees. He then asks about Fol and Atla, who are told they haven't missed a single day of training and are getting stronger all the time. Naofumi agrees to let them come. The young men also ask to join, but he tells them that while he'd like them to come, their curses haven't fully healed yet. They beg him, and Naofumi tells them to be ready to go when the Phoenix is revived. Rashia promises to help them get better quickly. Naofumi then decides who will accompany him, and who will stay to protect the village. Elsewhere, the scene shifts to Motoyasu attacking people who have invaded his father-in-law's country, wiping them all out in revenge. The scene returns to Naofumi, who is hitching a carriage to the Philolio. He's impressed with the carriage, which is made of sturdy wood. The children call out to the shield hero, happy to see him pass by. The shield hero tells everyone to stay alert. In another scene, a girl informs her leader that the fake Empress's party has just crossed the border into Siltvelt. She reassures her leader, "Don't worry, I swear I will kill the shield hero and the traitor who covets your throne before they enter Qten-Lo." The scene switches to Naofumi, who has easily passed through the checkpoint. He is greeted by numerous signs and banners saying, "Welcome, shield hero," and cheered by the people. Armored guards escort him and his team to the palace. Patla remarks, "This is to be expected from Siltvelt. It's impressive how much they respect Naofumi." A pleased Naofumi says, "I feel like the star of a big parade." He then recalls what Queen Morelia Melremark told him before. "First, young princesses and noble ladies will approach you. A harem will be formed for you with girls of every variety. After that, you will fall victim to an unknown disease." Atla gets angry, saying, "That's impossible. Siltvelt worships the shield hero." Naofumi tells her, "In any case, we need to cross this country as quickly as possible." Finally, they arrive at the city, and the king welcomes him, saying he is very happy to have him here, before introducing himself as Sareru. Naofumi then introduces himself and his companions. He tells Sareru, "I bought them when they were slaves in Zelto Bell. They are not original white tiger demi-humans. I will not get involved in any power struggles in your country, nor will I let them interfere, so there is no need to worry." They enter the palace. Sareru says, "I'm sure you are very tired from your long journey, but I would like a chance to meet. However, your servants are not allowed beyond this point." Indeed, Naofumi enters alone and sits on a throne. Saderu tells him, "The races gathered here have all ruled Siltvelt until this day, the day of your return." A man introduces himself as Suya of the Jemu race, and another as Tsuzuro, representative of the Utatsushima race. Naofumi speaks. "This is how the meeting should be. I'll be frank about what I need from you. I'm not interested in taking over Siltvelt. I'm just here on my way to my destination. I promise not to interfere in the affairs of your country's rule. So, prepare a ship to Qten-Lo for me. I want to leave as soon as possible." Sadaru replies, "It seems you've misunderstood. We want you to first rest from your long journey. Then it would be our pleasure to listen to you after you participate in tonight's banquet." Naofumi replies, "I'm in a hurry, and I'm sure some of you want me out of here as soon as possible." Sadaru says, "I won't deny that, but there is a sickness in our country that must be purged. Our only mission in life is to swear allegiance to the shield hero. Please do not forget that." Atla interjects, "Anyone who doesn't want Naofumi here is a traitor to their country. They must be found and executed immediately." Naofumi replies, "Then you should grant my wish as soon as possible." Saderu then says, "Yes, we will prepare the ship. This country is merely a stop on your journey. You saw how our people revere you. If you leave suddenly, people will think you've abandoned us and will be plunged into sorrow. There might even be troublemakers, even a military coup. That is how much you are worth to this country, the shield hero we have all been waiting for." Naofumi agrees, saying, "I will attend this banquet, if that is what you want." Saderu rejoices, "We have prepared a room for the shield hero and each of his followers. Please wait here until the banquet begins." Naofumi requests, I don't want us to be in separate rooms. I don't want to be alone. I can't imagine what they might offer me, any action towards me. Saderu replies, we cannot treat others the same way we treat the shield hero. This would diminish our status. Atlas suggests, it's possible to prepare a room next to Naofumi's. Sadaru agrees to Atla's request and says they will have it prepared immediately. Naofumi says, there's still some time before evening. I'd rather go see the town than stay here. Sadaru agrees. Of course, we would be honored by your visit. But it takes some time to arrange such a royal visit. A surprise visit would take people by surprise. They would regret being unable to offer you a proper welcome. Such a grand event requires preparation, and the people must be notified. Later, Naofumi and his companions walk through the palace but are not allowed to enter a single room. They are all under renovation. I have no freedom at all, Naofumi says. He asks his companions how many days this will take. Atla replies that it could take months. Naofumi becomes angry because there isn't enough time to prepare for the Phoenix. This is what the other three heroes felt when they were revered by the king in Melramar. Raftalia says, I think they had a much freer spirit than you. Now you must have a free spirit. You're asking for a ship while evading your duties as the shield hero. He tells her, you're right about that. I phrased that incorrectly. They notice someone watching them, but then a man named Euralis approaches and introduces himself to Naofumi. I apologize for not being able to introduce myself earlier. We have all heard a little of what happened. If you want to arrange a ship for you to go to Qtenlo, I can prepare one quickly myself. Naofumi replies, you weren't present at the meeting earlier, which means you're not that important. Are you capable of doing this? Euralis tells him, I will see you at the banquet tonight, and leaves. They all go to a balcony where they see the city and are very impressed by it. Naofumi asks if anyone knows anything about Euralis. Fol replies, no, this is the first time I've seen him. Saderu as well. Naofumi tells them don't trust either of them. But if Euralis is willing to prepare a ship for us, he's probably not on the same side as Saderu. Saderu adds, he may be someone who is still not important enough for an audience, but his power is growing rapid. Naofumi says, no one knows when we'll be able to leave the city if we let the Phyloa leader order us around. But the Lion's offer seems too good to be true. Alliance with one party often means antagonizing the other. So we will wait a few days and see. But Qtenlo is still far away. Thus ends today's episode. Wait for us in the upcoming episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell icon to receive all that is new. Hello, my friends. If you haven't heard the first episode, I will leave the link in the first comment. The anime episode begins with Naofumi and his friends arriving at a large palace, where a maid shows them to his room. This very large room is for Naofumi alone, and they are all astonished by its beauty. They want to stay with him in his room, but the maid informs them that another room has been prepared for their service. She then tells him that for his plans for the rest of the day, once he has rested in his room, he will have to change into the official Siltvelt attire for this evening's banquet. But first, he must take a bath, and she will inform him when it is ready. Melty mentions that there is plenty of time until the banquet, so she suggests they take a tour of the town. The other girls agree, except for Raftalia, who wants to stay in the adjacent room to ensure Naofi's protection in case any harm comes to him. Her friend Melty pleads with her, telling her she wants to see the town with her, so she agrees. Naofi then asks them to leave Raf with him. We then see Naofumi in his room recalling how everyone has been acting, finding this town more annoying than he expected. Raf leaves him and goes to stand before the shield. Naofumi places his hand on it to assess it and finds it to be very powerful. The scene shifts to the girls as they wander through the market, impressed by everything in it. Everyone here respects Naofumi greatly. The girls sit at a cafe and order their favorite drinks. They drink happily, but a portion of the people are giving them strange looks. This is why Fol was hesitant to go outside the castle. Atla explains that he has been like this the whole time since his capture, and he is overly affected by the matter. Meltaque then says that it's wonderful to have different kinds of people living together. But there is a hidden side to the story that isn't apparent at first glance, and they must look at the bigger picture, since Naofumi cannot. We then see Naofumi in the bath. He tells Raf that he feels very relaxed. Suddenly, Naofumi hears a very loud, tumultuous sound coming towards them. He gets out of the bath and suddenly finds many princesses coming towards him, chanting the name of the shield hero, as they love him very much. Naofumi uses his power to create a large barrier between himself and them. Everyone asks him to break the barrier, but he will not. Suddenly, Raftalia senses that something has happened to Naofumi, and runs quickly to the castle to save him, with everyone running behind her. We see Naofumi hidden inside the barrier. He understands this is what the queen was talking about. Princesses and young noblewomen would approach him, trying to form a party of women of all shapes and sizes. Naofumi uses his power and gives it to Raf to decipher the laws of nature and create an illusion to mislead their opponents. He succeeds, walking among them without being seen. At that moment, Raftalia arrives and asks what happened, as she heard a distress signal. He informs her that there was an emergency, so he used illusion magic to make them think he was in front of them. He then enters his room and meets with Ferner, asking him what happened. Ferner apologizes from the bottom of his heart for what occurred. This is a service they provide for generations of shield heroes, and he thought Naofumi would enjoy it. He apologizes to him again. Naofumi gets angry and tells him to bring him that damned boat quickly if he truly wants to apologize. Ferner informs him that they will hold a conference in a few days to vote on the matter. Naofumi replies that if it's going to take that long, he can return to his country with his portal skill. Ferner begs him not to do that, asking him for some time and promising he will get it for him. Naofumi replies that he should not forget that if they continue to treat them this way, they will act on their own. After that, Naofumi goes to put on the clothes prepared for him. He then goes out to the banquet, and everyone is dazzled by him. As everyone begins to eat, Melty Q approaches Fol and his sister Atla. She tells them that this is a rare opportunity, so they must think rationally. Fol doesn't understand, so she reminds him of what she said in town. There is always a hidden side to the story. She explains that while this evening is supposed to welcome the shield hero, there must be people here for other reasons. She tells him to start looking for them, as the party will soon be over. Fol thinks about her words and begins to look around for anything unusual. The scene shifts to Naofumi, who is approached by Jarlath. He asks if Naofumi is enjoying the party. Naofumi remembers him, and Jarlath asks to speak with him about what they discussed some time ago. Afterward, a masked man approaches Fol and Atla and asks to speak with them about something. He goes with them and tells them his name is Ethan. Fol remembers him, but his sister does not. She asks who he is, and Fol explains that Ethan used to work for their father. He tells her she might not remember him, but he used to come to their house and play with them often. Ethan tells them that their father passed away, and they disappeared afterward. He was very worried about them. Demi-humans and the white tiger species are not very welcome in this country. He asks them to forgive him for meeting them this way, but he wanted to tell them something. They should be wary of the lion Jarlath, as he might have been involved in their parents' death. He says Jarlath was reportedly present in their father's final moments, but a rumor spread in the army at the time that this might not be true, as his report about their father's last moments didn't seem logical at all. He told the military officials repeatedly that they needed to investigate the matter again. He expresses great regret for not fighting alongside Tyrion until the end, and for not being able to protect him. So the least he can do now, he believes, is to help them, and he will do the impossible for their sake. The scene shifts back to Naofumi and Jarlath. Jarlath asks about Mr. Ferner, and if things are going well with him. He tells Naofumi to inform him immediately if Ferner does anything, as he wants to keep him here no matter what it takes. He says that public opinion is ultimately very important to him, because his faith in the shield hero is firm and unshakable. Naofumi says, "My faith in the shield hero is firm and unshakable." However, he notes that people are asking themselves why he is protecting other countries in defiance of the place he is supposed to protect, and the number of people saying this might be growing. Mr. Ferner has been very worried recently that people with these feelings might do something reckless, so Naofumi should not pay attention to what Ferner says. He then asks him to use him instead of Ferner, offering to arrange a ship for him immediately. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it officially due to his current position, but he is prepared to bend the rules for the shield hero. He says that allowing him to help is the only way to get him to Q10 low. The next morning, everyone goes to breakfast. We see Naofumi with Ferner, who tells him that he will attend a conference after this, then have lunch and complete the rest of his duties. Naofumi orders him to go now. After Ferner leaves, Naofumi thinks to himself that Ferner is still providing him with meaningless services and worthless meetings to keep them in town. Perhaps Jarlath is right about that, at least, but Jarlath's fawning manner doesn't sit well with him at all. According to what Fol and Atla said, he seems very dangerous, but he can't trust either of them. At that moment, everyone cheers the shield hero's name, but Naofumi wants to get out of this town immediately. He doesn't feel comfortable here. After that, the special meeting begins, which includes many heroes, with Ferner as the official spokesman. He tells them they seek to expand and strengthen their army in preparation for the next wave, and need to reorganize their forces with the shield hero as their core. Naofumi retorts that he told him before that he would not stay for the second wave. Ferner understands, and so he wants to discuss the required budget with him, as they will ask their finest shipyard to build him a ship worthy of the shield hero. Naofumi replies that he understands his desire to use him to expand his army and unite his people, but just as he wants to protect his town, he also wants to protect his country. At this moment, the people of his village are waiting for his return. At this moment, the people of my village are waiting for my return, and as soon as the Phoenix and Q10 Low are dealt with, I don't mind performing my duty as the shield hero for a little while. Jarlath tells him, "A true ruler should always prioritize his country and his people. I am learning a lot from you, and I also want you to rule Siltvelt and unite its people. But it is not right for the people of Siltvelt to defy the will of the shield hero. We should prepare a ship immediately." Ferner tells him only the representatives of the 4 great races are allowed to speak in this conference. He then says to Naofumi, "Your feelings are very valuable to us. Please, give us time to adapt to your opinion and ideas." After that, the scene shifts to Naofumi and his friends. He tells them, "Let's do this quickly while everyone is away." Fall introduces him to Ethan, who says, "It is an honor to meet you in person. No matter how much I thank you for saving Fall and Atla, I can never repay you. I will repay this debt even if it cost me my life." Naofumi informs him that he did it for his own reasons. More importantly, he says, "I want you to watch Ferner and Jarlath. Both of them have reached a dead end and might do something reckless to break the stalemate. Therefore, I want you to share any information you get with these guys. I want to settle all these matters within a few days. I have been preparing in secret to be ready as soon as the opportunity arises." And so, his days in Siltvalt passed. In the morning, Naofumi is eating his food and uses his power to detect poison within it. Naofumi's friends refuse to eat it as well. However, we see all the other attendees eating the food, and suddenly many of them lose consciousness. Maids distribute an antidote to all the tables. Ferner doesn't understand what's happening, so Naofumi tells him to drink the antidote quickly. What it's made of is disgusting, but it's better than dying from the poison. Werner then declares that whoever did this is a criminal who deserves execution, calling it high treason. He then looks at Jiralis. When Jiralis asks if he has anything to say, Naofumi interrupts them, stating that it seems they all need to talk to understand what happened. Later, everyone gathers with Naofumi, who tells them he can't believe someone tried to poison him, as he thought this country was safe. Werner interrupts, certain that Jiralis did it, claiming no one else would betray the shield hero. Jiralis tells him not to say that without proof, suggesting that Werner could have done it since he knew the hero was going to leave their country. Naofumi tells them he doesn't care who did it. Someone tried to poison them, and that's all that matters. But he can no longer cooperate with a country like this. He has already secured a way to get on a boat and is tired of dealing with them. Werner tries to speak to him, but Jiralis mocks him for annoying the shield hero and losing the chance to cooperate with him, calling it a miserable failure. Werner tells him to know his place, accusing him of always plotting cheap schemes. Jiralis replies that if he's implying he's responsible, he hopes he has some proof. Werner retorts that his actions so far are all the proof he needs, stating he knows Jiralis would do anything to gain influence. Jiralis says that Werner blames everyone around him because his own position is in danger, calling him not a true ruler. He adds, "This is what happens when you let lineage be the only thing that matters. There are many talented people outside the 4 great races." Werner screams at him not to refer to himself. Suddenly everyone starts shouting, with half supporting Werner and the other half supporting Jiralis. Atlas screams at them, ordering them to be silent, and that's how today's episode ends. If you like the video, press like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all that is new. The episode begins with the old man recalling Fol and Atla's words. Naofumi saved their lives. Atla would have died in a slave dungeon in Zeltobel if the shield hero hadn't saved her. He then asks his wife about the 2 white tigers, and she tells him they went to Siltveld with the shield hero. The old man is shocked that she allowed the 2 white tiger siblings to go with him. He then remembers how Tyron, the leader of Siltveld, died, and how the white tiger demihumans were forced to bear full responsibility for the war, losing all their positions in their country. He thinks that those 2 carry Tyron's blood, and no one knows what will become of them. His wife reassures him that they have their own path and that they should always pray for them. After that, we move to a completed meeting where we see Atla yelling at everyone present. She tells them she's fed up with everything that's happening. Jiralis tries to silence her, telling her she has no right to speak and should leave. Atla refuses, asking him how they can say that after he tried to poison them. She then demands to speak to all the people of Siltveld, without exception. Jiralis tries to silence her again, but Atla continues to refuse, telling him that if she stops here, she'll never forgive herself. She declares that they are all wrong, as they are now disrespecting the shield hero. They retort that it's impossible for any of them to disrespect him, as they welcome him greatly, and with all they have. She gets angry and asks them why they ignore the shield hero's request, and that their behavior, which shows continuous disrespect since Naofumi's arrival, shocks her, and she's disappointed in herself for not realizing it sooner. She now poses this question to them: how was Siltveld founded? One of the meeting members replies that the shield hero built it for them, the demi-humans and beastmen, and it was founded in the same way Lurlerona village was restored. This place accepted Atla and her brother, she continues, saying that Naofumi welcomed many beastmen and demi-humans into Lurlerona village, not only giving them a place to live, but also hope for the future. They want to repay him for all he has done, which is why she serves Naofumi with her own eyes. He made her a cherished member of the village and made them respected citizens in Siltveld. Everyone agrees with her, saying they live in their country with pride, and everything they do is for the shield hero. Atla tells them that if she's wrong, they should tell her, as they all owe the shield hero their lives. While they live in 2 different countries, they all share the same feeling, but their country is much bigger than any small village. And every country finds itself big and strong from the beginning. Everyone here thinks that the village they were brought back to life in is too small for them to care about, but they should think about having faces, claws, and fangs. Is all this to rule the world or to protect the people? Everything they possess is for the shield hero, and even if they curse her for her tainted blood, the blood in her body, her instincts, and her soul all call her to show her loyalty to the shield hero. This is the era of the calamity waves, and they must renew their oath of loyalty to him. She wants everyone to swear their allegiance to the shield hero. Everyone agrees with her except Jiralis. Then we see Raftalia, who is very happy with Atla's words. She doesn't think Atla said anything wrong at all, so she can't comment on her words. She's very impressed, having impressed Naofumi and his friends. At that moment, Varner speaks, saying their mission is to serve the shield hero and save the world from the coming calamity. That girl helped them remember that, and yet they want to poison the shield hero. Everyone at that time supports this, saying that whoever did that deserves to be killed and die, as that crime is unforgivable. Everyone becomes enraged at Jiralis' faction, saying, "Why would you commit such a heinous act?" Then they defend themselves and ask, "Where is your proof?" After that, Naofumi calls for Sadina and Philo, who bring with them this bear chef, saying, "I granted the honor of preparing breakfast for the shield hero, and your name is Denny." Then he sees Jiralis the lion and becomes very scared. Naofumi says that he asked Ethane to monitor the palace for the past 3 days, and the welcome he received was more than enough to make him suspicious of all of them. Then Ethane says that he saw this man adding poison to today's breakfast. Denny apologizes to Naofumi, saying, "It wasn't me." Naofumi reassures him that his family is safe now. Then Naofumi asks him, "Who asked you to do this?" Denny sadly replies, Jaralis asked me. I only did it because he threatened me. Jaralis says, I don't think we've met. Are you sure it was me? Didn't he mention my name? This is probably a scheme to ruin my good reputation. Do you have any other proof? Then everyone starts arguing, and Naofumi gets angry with them and tells Philo, let's go. I'll stay in a country that tries to poison me. You can handle the rest yourselves. Then Jaralis says, there's something I want to say to you. I assume that the shield hero standing here is not the coming hero of time we were waiting for. I'm worried about Siltvelt's future and want to see it prosper. I don't want us to make the wrong decision, so I'm forced to speak against the shield hero at the cost of my life. Atla gets angry, saying that Naofumi doesn't make mistakes, and he's right enough to suggest that he's not the real shield hero. Jaralis tells her, I wouldn't go that far. What I'm simply asking is whether we are truly facing the calamity waves now. If these are truly the waves that will destroy the world, then why was the shield hero summoned to Melremark and not here? That's all the proof we need to say that he's not the hero we want. Is he really the coming hero of time? That's my question. Atla says that the answer is clear. This is the time the matter revolved around, and that's why the shield hero was summoned with the other three. The hero's strength lies in how they cooperate together. So he was summoned to Melremark to cooperate with the other heroes. This is proof that the world is in danger, and no one is speaking nonsense here. I speak as someone who has sworn loyalty to Naofumi. Then Jaralis says, it seems that some of those who swear loyalty to him have their doubts. Didn't you feel strange about it? Why didn't Foal bring his ship? He's the one who swore loyalty to the shield hero. If the hero doesn't stay in the country, then those who doubt he's the hero of time won't be satisfied. Atlas says, you only care about yourselves. You don't care about Naofumi at all. Then this old man, a gnomo, comes and says, I think she has us. Young but strong-willed, weak but fierce. If you ask me who the real citizen of Siltveld is, I'll say it's her. Then Naofumi is surprised by this man and asks Varnar, who is this? He tells them that he is the Gnomo Elder. He is retired, but still has many connections with various groups. After that, the Gnomo Elder speaks to the shield hero, saying, it's an honor for me to meet you. Varnar tells the Elder to change his appearance as he stands before the shield hero. The old man then speaks, saying he heard all they said. Don't you think it's foolish to only think of yourselves and not the shield hero? The foolish lion gets angry, saying he doesn't want the shield hero and doesn't want him to be their king. Atla retorts, whoever dares to hinder Naofumi, I will eliminate them by force. The lion, enraged, challenges her to a duel, vowing to kill her himself. The girl accepts the challenge. The elder intervenes, stopping them, and says, we won't reach a conclusion this way. So, why don't we settle the matter with a duel in our country's tradition? Everyone is shocked by this idea. Varnar says, Elder, a duel is excessive. The elder replies, since there are those among us who doubt he is the hero of time, it must happen. Varnar agrees, but on the condition that the second white tiger demi-human who serves the shield hero fights. Jaralis the lion accepts the duel, with the elders serving as his representative. Jaralis declares, if I win the duel, first we will strip the white tiger demi-humans of their status as one of the 4 great races, and the lions will take their place. Second, the shield hero will become the king of our country only. Finally, the severest punishments will be inflicted upon that impudent girl. The shield hero objects, as this only benefits Jaralis, but the girl doesn't mind the duel because she trusts the shield hero and simply needs to win. At this, the shield hero agrees and tells them, if I win, you will do what I want. They agree to this request. Then Varnar allows a duel between the white tiger demi-human and Jaralis the lion. Suddenly, Atla's brother appears, wanting to be the fighter in this duel instead of his sister. She tries to stop him, as it's a dangerous battle, but her brother is determined to fight in her place. Jaralis the lion says he will fight both of them, and show them the strength of noble blood. Varnar intervenes, telling him that the duel must be fought with an equal number of participants on each side. Jaralis then brings another person with him. We then see Atla with the shield hero, telling him that this duel is her chance to reaffirm her loyalty to him. I will overcome any hardship that awaits me. More than that, I cannot be your shield if I cannot overcome something like this. The shield hero wishes her good luck, and they prepare for battle. We see the other person with the lion, a very large individual who resembles a minotaur. Everyone is shocked by his sheer size. The elder tells them that he summoned one of the heroes from the previous great war to fight. We see Jaralis, the lion, saying that this battle will decide the shield hero's fate, and he cannot entrust it to just anyone. The huge bull says, we do this for this country, and so that my daughter can marry the shield hero. We see his daughter, a small bull resembling him exactly, who is in love with the shield hero. The shield hero gets angry and calls out to his fighters, Atla and Foal, you must win this duel. Foal chooses to fight Jaralis on the condition that if Foal wins, Jaralis must tell him everything about what happened to his father. Will this young man and his sister be able to defeat this foolish lion and the huge bull? We will find out in the next episode, so stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all new updates. The episode begins with the old man recalling Foal and Atla's words. Naofumi saved their lives. Atla would have died in a slave dungeon in Zeltobel if the shield hero hadn't saved her. He then asks his wife about the two white tigers, and she tells him they went to Siltveld with the shield hero. The old man is shocked that she allowed the two white tiger siblings to go with him. He then remembers how Tyron, the leader of Siltveld, died, and how the white tiger demi-humans were forced to bear full responsibility for the war, losing all their positions in their country. He thinks that those two carry Tyron's blood, and no one knows what will become of them. His wife reassures him that they have their own path and that they should always pray for them. After that, we move to a completed meeting where we see Atla yelling at everyone present. She tells them she's fed up with everything that's happening. Jaralis tries to silence her, telling her she has no right to speak and should leave. Atla refuses, asking him how they can say that after he tried to poison them. She then demands to speak to all the people of Siltveld, without exception. Jaralis tries to silence her again, but Atla continues to refuse, telling him that if she stops here, she'll never forgive herself. She declares that they are all wrong, as they are now disrespecting the shield hero. They retort that it's impossible for any of them to disrespect him, as they welcome him greatly, and with all they have. She gets angry and asks them why they ignore the shield hero's request, and that their behavior, which shows continuous disrespect since Naofumi's arrival, shocks her, and she's disappointed in herself for not realizing it sooner. She now poses this question to them: how was Siltveld founded? One of the meeting members replies that the shield hero built it for them, the demi-humans and beastmen, and it was founded in the same way Lurlarona village was restored. This place accepted Atla and her brother, she continues, saying that Naofumi welcomed many beastmen and demi-humans into Lurlarona village, not only giving them a place to live, but also hope for the future. They want to repay him for all he has done, which is why she serves Naofumi with her own eyes. He made her a cherished member of the village and made them respected citizens in Siltveld. Everyone agrees with her, saying they live in their country with pride, and everything they do is for the shield hero. Atla tells them that if she's wrong, they should tell her, as they all owe the shield hero their lives. While they live in two different countries, they all share the same feeling, but their country is much bigger than any small village. And every country finds itself big and strong from the beginning. Everyone here thinks that the village they were brought back to life in is too small for them to care about, but they should think about having faces, claws, and fangs. Is all this to rule the world or to protect the people? Everything they possess is for the shield hero, and even if they curse her for her tainted blood, the blood in her body, her instincts, and her soul all call her to show her loyalty to the shield hero. This is the era of the calamity waves, and they must renew their oath of loyalty to him. She wants everyone to swear their allegiance to the shield hero. Everyone agrees with her except Jaralis. Then we see Raftalia, who is very happy with Atla's words. She doesn't think Atla said anything wrong at all, so she can't comment on her words. She's very impressed, having impressed Naofumi and his friends. At that moment, Varner speaks, saying their mission is to serve the shield hero and save the world from the coming calamity. That girl helped them remember that, and yet they want to poison the shield hero. Everyone at that time supports this, saying that whoever did that deserves to be killed and die, as that crime is unforgivable. Everyone becomes enraged at Jaralis's faction, saying, "Why would you commit such a heinous act?" Then they defend themselves and ask, "Where is your proof?" After that, Naofumi calls for Sadina and Philo, who bring with them this bear chef, saying, "I granted the honor of preparing breakfast for the shield hero, and your name is Denny." Then he sees Jaralis the lion and becomes very scared. Naofumi says that he asked Ethane to monitor the palace for the past 3 days, and the welcome he received was more than enough to make him suspicious of all of them. Then Ethane says that he saw this man adding poison to today's breakfast. Denny apologizes to Naofumi, saying, "It wasn't me." Naofumi reassures him that his family is safe now. Then Naofumi asks him, "Who asked you to do this?" Denny sadly replies, "Jaralis asked me. I only did it because he threatened me." Jaralis says, "I don't think we've met. Are you sure it was me? Didn't he mention my name? This is probably a scheme to ruin my good reputation. Do you have any other proof?" Then everyone starts arguing, and Naofumi gets angry with them and tells Philo, "Let's go. I'll stay in a country that tries to poison me. You can handle the rest yourselves." Then Jaralis says, "There's something I want to say to you. I assume that the shield hero standing here is not the coming hero of time we were waiting for. I'm worried about Siltveld's future and want to see it prosper. I don't want us to make the wrong decision, so I'm forced to speak against the shield hero at the cost of my life." Atla gets angry, saying that Naofumi doesn't make mistakes, and he's right enough to suggest that he's not the real shield hero. Jaralis tells her, "I wouldn't go that far. What I'm simply asking is whether we are truly facing the calamity waves now. If these are truly the waves that will destroy the world, then why was the shield hero summoned to Melremark and not here? That's all the proof we need to say that he's not the hero we want. Is he really the coming hero of time? That's my question." Atla says that the answer is clear. This is the time the matter revolved around, and that's why the shield hero was summoned with the other three. The hero's strength lies in how they cooperate together. So he was summoned to Melromark to cooperate with the other heroes. This is proof that the world is in danger, and no one is speaking nonsense here. I speak as someone who has sworn loyalty to Naofumi. Then Jaralis says, "It seems that some of those who swear loyalty to him have their doubts. Didn't you feel strange about it? Why didn't Foal bring his ship? He's the one who swore loyalty to the shield hero. If the hero doesn't stay in the country, then those who doubt he's the hero of time won't be satisfied." Atlas says, "You only care about yourselves. You don't care about Naofumi at all." Then this old man, a gnomo, comes and says, "I think she has us." young but strong-willed, weak but fierce. If you ask me who the real citizen of Siltveld is, I'll say it's her. Then Nafumi is surprised by this man and asks Varnar, who is this? He tells them that he is the Gnomo Elder. He is retired, but still has many connections with various groups. After that, the Gnomo Elder speaks to the shield hero, saying, "It's an honor for me to meet you." Varnar tells the Elder to change his appearance as he stands before the shield hero. The old man then speaks, saying he heard all they said. "Don't you think it's foolish to only think of yourselves and not the shield hero?" The foolish lion gets angry, saying he doesn't want the shield hero and doesn't want him to be their king. Atla retorts, "Whoever dares to hinder Nafumi, I will eliminate them by force." The lion, enraged, challenges her to a duel, vowing to kill her himself. The girl accepts the challenge. The elder intervenes, stopping them, and says, "We won't reach a conclusion this way. So, why don't we settle the matter with a duel in our country's tradition?" Everyone is shocked by this idea. Varnar says, "Elder, a duel is excessive." The elder replies, "Since there are those among us who doubt he is the hero of time, it must happen." Varnar agrees, but on the condition that the second white tiger demi-human who serves the shield hero fights. Jaralis the lion accepts the duel, with the elder serving as his representative. Jaralis declares, "If I win the duel, first we will strip the white tiger demi-humans of their status as one of the 4 great races, and the lions will take their place. Second, the shield hero will become the king of our country only. Finally, the severest punishments will be inflicted upon that impudent girl." The shield hero objects, as this only benefits Jaralis, but the girl doesn't mind the duel because she trusts the shield hero and simply needs to win. At this, the shield hero agrees and tells them, "If I win, you will do what I want." They agree to this request. Then Varnar allows a duel between the white tiger demi-human and Jaralis the lion. Suddenly, Atla's brother appears, wanting to be the fighter in this duel instead of his sister. She tries to stop him, as it's a dangerous battle, but her brother is determined to fight in her place. Jaralis the lion says he will fight both of them, and show them the strength of noble blood. Varnar intervenes, telling him that the duel must be fought with an equal number of participants on each side. Jaralis then brings another person with him. We then see Atla with the shield hero, telling him that this duel is her chance to reaffirm her loyalty to him. "I will overcome any hardship that awaits me. More than that, I cannot be your shield if I cannot overcome something like this." The shield hero wishes her good luck, and they prepare for battle. We see the other person with the lion, a very large individual who resembles a minotaur. Everyone is shocked by his sheer size. The elder tells them that he summoned one of the heroes from the previous great war to fight. We see Jaralis, the lion, saying that this battle will decide the shield hero's fate, and he cannot entrust it to just anyone. The huge bull says, "We do this for this country, and so that my daughter can marry the shield hero." We see his daughter, a small bull resembling him exactly, who is in love with the shield hero. The shield hero gets angry and calls out to his fighters, "Atla and Fol, you must win this duel." Fol chooses to fight Jaralis on the condition that if Fol wins, Jaralis must tell him everything about what happened to his father. Will this young man and his sister be able to defeat this foolish lion and the huge bull? We will find out in the next episode, so stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all new updates. The episode begins with Atla and her brother Fool at their home. They have prepared a meal for their father, who is delighted. When he tastes the food, he finds it delicious. Atla tells him that she was told the taste is similar to the food their mother used to make. The scene then shifts to the queen speaking with Neofumi and Raftalia about Fol and Atla. She tells them they are the children of Losha's younger sister. Neofumi asks her if he should tell them, but the queen asks him not to, as Losha is happy enough that he was able to build a relationship with them. She then asks them about Siltveld, as she was told they were in some trouble. Thanks to them, the Siltveld forces will contribute to the war against the Phoenix. Nafumi replies that because she also did her part as usual, preparing for the battle with the Phoenix, has priority over anything else now. The queen talks to Neofumi and asks him what he will do now. He tells her he will continue to prepare for the Phoenix, but he must finish things with Cotton first, as he cannot focus on what's in front of them while he's worried about the possibility of them lying in wait in the dark. The queen then addresses Raftalia, telling her that the next time they believe her, a royal welcome may be in store for her. And at that moment, the conversation ends. Naofumi takes Raftalia to return home. On their way back, Raftalia apologizes to Neofumi, knowing this is a crucial time. Neofumi interrupts her and says, it's not her fault. He's just doing his job as a ruler. At that moment, Neofumi meets Atla and Fol and asks them if their father liked their homemade cooking. They tell him he liked it very much. Neofumi tells them to return home if they are done with their work, because they will be leaving as soon as they are ready. After that, Neofumi goes to his friends to choose who will go with him to Cotton. His female friend asks him if he will take that bug with him. Thanks to everyone in the village, they are very strong now. Neofumi tells her he would like to take as much combat power with him as possible, but they must also be able to defend the village. Raftalia continues his thought, saying it would be good to have Sedina because she knows the area, and Atla and Fol also know her, and they help them a lot in Siltveld. At that moment, Neofumi remembers his friends Itsuki and Ren. The coach tells him that they were fighting and would return tonight. Neofumi tells her that even if the curse still affects them, they are both holy heroes, and he would like one of them. Sedina comes to them and asks if they are going to Koten. She asks him to take her with him, as she knows that Koten is protected by a water dragon. and a dragon like her and Galeon should be able to feel it. Now Fumi decides to take her with him. He then goes to the little girl and asks her if she remembers what happened when the village was attacked. They don't know when they might return, so it's important to keep everyone here safe too. If she remembers anything, she should tell him. Now Fumi and Raphtalia then leave the tent and meet a man. Now Fumi asks him to take him to Koten. The driver tells them that he has seen the weapons those people were using and believes his master made them. He has been missing for a long time, and this might be his chance to find him. Now Fumi is worried because this is very dangerous. The driver replies that he was an adventurer and his level is around 80, which is surprisingly high, so he will keep their weapons clean and ready on the way. Now Ufumi thanks him very much for this. After that, Keel comes screaming, asking them to help her. When Nafumi sees her, he asks what happened to her, as he didn't know she was a girl. She tells him that her friends made her wear this outfit. Her friends tell him they discovered she was a girl when they were taking her measurements for her to work in the store. But Keel continues to deny she is a girl, insisting she is a boy. She used to tell them she was excited about this outfit, and everyone loved it. Keel replies that she never liked it. Naofumi interrupts her and orders her to wear this outfit when she goes to trade from now on. If she attracts more attention, it means more sales. Keel gets angry and tells him she wants to be a strong man. Naofumi doesn't care about what she says, stating that, whether she is a man or a woman, it is only important that she is useful. Keel is convinced by his words. At sunset, Naofumi gathers with his friends. Ren tells him he heard he had a problem in Siltveld in more than one way. Naofumi doesn't answer him and asks if anything happened in the village during his absence. They tell him there were no attacks from lunatics, but they found an explosion crater near the village. Perhaps they tried to set up an ambush or engaged in a battle with someone, but there is something strange. His friend then remembers a man trying to hit these villains but failing. He uses the power of fire to burn his opponents and turn them to ashes. He then throws a firestorm at them to cleanse the town of them, and now he wants to move on to the next. We return to Naofumi and his friends. His assistant tells him she knows he's busy now, but he shouldn't forget that he needs to do what Fatoria asked of him. Naofumi replies that when he finishes things in Koten, he will give her the reward in advance. He then asks what Fatoria wants, as she previously said it was for the 4 heroes to get along. This little girl then comes and asks Rin to take a look at the shopping list. Rin asks her to add some dried bacon slices. He tells her that he will add some dried bacon slices as their supply is running out. The girl thanks him for his help. He then talks to Naofumi, saying that he wants to do all he can because he's a part of this village after all. He asks if they should go to Koten as well. Naofumi replies, "That's what I thought too. I don't know if the holy weapons will be effective against them, but we'll take a ship to get there. If we have to fight a battle at sea, long-range weapons will definitely be useful." He asks Itsuki and Rishia if they'll go with him, and they both reply, "Yes, we'll do our best." He then asks Ren, "I want you to take command if the village is attacked. Can you protect the village with Eclair? It seems they trust you after all. For now, focus on breaking the curse. When we need you, I will summon you with a teleportation gate." The scene then shifts to Raphtalia talking with Naofumi, asking him who is the emperor that he'd send assassins to protect his position. Naofumi replies, "Isn't trying to hold on to your position and influence part of human nature? Talk to the people of Cotton and tell them that, but I'm not sure they'll understand." The scene moves to Naofumi and his friends preparing their ship to go to Cotton. Naofumi asks Fo, "Is everything I asked for ready?" Fo replies, "Everything is on the ship, and the last 10% is being loaded now. We won't let anything happen to the hero." Naofumi tells them they will leave immediately as soon as the last of the cargo is loaded. After that, there are whirlpools in the sea. Sadina says, "If we don't follow the light, the whirlpools will block our path." Suddenly, a whirlpool appears in front of them, and they steer the ship to the right. A man then speaks to Naofumi and tells him that the whirlpools are very annoying. Naofumi replies, "Yes." The man asks if he thinks his master is in Koten. The man replies, "It's his nature to wander from place to place, chasing girls and running from debt collectors. He has a lot of problems, but he's very highly skilled. I decided to study under him after falling in love with one of his weapons at first sight. If I could meet him again, I think I could improve more." Naofumi says to him, "If he's that good, I should hire him instead of you." Then, the dragon appears and tells them that it feels a dragon coming from a distance. It's the water dragon. "I tried to get closer, but it blocked me with a barrier." The man then informs them that they are close to Koten's territorial waters, and a fog appears around them. They hope they can get there without anything happening. Naofumi then tells them these guys were ready to come all the way to our village. They won't let us land without a fight. Stay alert, everyone. We notice that everyone is on guard. Suddenly, the man says, "There's a ship in front of us about to collide." They shoot arrows at them, and Full prepares to attack. The monsters continue to attack Naofumi's ship with arrows, and then they drop a bridge to transfer from their ship to Naofumi's. His friends protect the ship and attack the small monsters, but their magic has little to no effect. Naofumi then uses the aura of Sugai, which increases everyone's strength. He wishes he could capture them alive to interrogate them, but then remembers that these monsters carry bombs that will explode and harm everyone if they go off. Everyone continues to attack, but their efforts, including the heroes' attacks, are ineffective. They continue to fight and finally defeat them with great difficulty. Some of the monsters jump into the water and escape. Suddenly, one of the monsters stands by the ship with a bomb, and it explodes. Others start lifting bombs to blow up the entire ship, but Naofumi, at the right moment, uses his shield prison to contain the explosions. The bombs detonate inside the shield, and the ship and everyone on it are safe. Everyone is fine and unharmed. They continue sailing towards their destination, but a huge whirlpool appears in front of them. The whirlpool gets very close to the ship and pulls some of it in, taking Naofumi and some of his friends. The whirlpool then disappears, and his friends on the ship worry about them. Naofumi and his friends wake up to find themselves in a cave. They are relieved to be alive. They say, "The water dragon brought us here." The dragon with them says, "I could feel it in the whirlpool myself. It seems the water dragon wants to share something important with us." They continue walking up a staircase until they reach a glowing crystal. The dragon says it is a piece of the Dragon Emperor, containing a message from the water dragon. He gets closer and tells them that the water dragon's wish is to restore this country to its proper state, and this is written in the message. Naofumi and his friends are amazed. The dragon tells them that this country has been surrounded by a barrier for many years. The barrier was created to protect the soul-coming tools, and it doesn't know much more. But it seems their clan has played that role for generations. Naofumi and his friends discuss whether anyone has ever heard of this, but they conclude that no one has ever told them about it. Naofumi says, "This indicates that there is a person who places a restriction on the users of those weapons, which are the holy weapons. For example, if a hero misuses a weapon's power, the existence of a person immune to its effects would prevent the worst outcomes. I believe the weapons of the monsters that attacked us are a testament to that practice." Naofumi asks the dragon, "What are we supposed to do, specifically?" The dragon tells him that the Emperor controls the cotton barrier. First, that must be fixed, otherwise our friends won't be able to land. Everyone agrees that they would be in a vicious circle and stuck. If they continue to advance, they will never arrive, and we won't arrive with them either. The dragon tells them that there's a nearby base that seems to control the barrier. They continue walking to look for this base that controls the barrier until they reach a light that looks like an exit. They find some clothes there. The dragon tells them that the water dragon has prepared these clothes to hide their identities. They leave the exit and find themselves in another world, surprised by a brilliant cherry blossom tree. These trees are a special species to Koten, and they have arrived at their destination, the beautiful town of Koten. Raftalia says, "My mother and father were born here in this town, and I miss them so much." With this happy ending, our episode concludes. Wait for us in the next wonderful episode of this great anime. We ask you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all that is new. Today's episode begins with Naofumi and his friends, where the water dragon informs them that the barrier is controlled by the lighthouse they stand before. They will have to disable it if they want to communicate with those still on the ship. Naofumi wants to get them to the port quickly. Their stats are fine, but no matter what they do, they cannot approach the land. So, Raftalia and Sedina change into clothes that hide Raftalia's ears and tail. Then, the small dragon hatchling appears, a sign that the water dragon is protecting them from any danger. After they finish changing, Naofumi leads them away, as they must break the barrier. They set off and arrive in a country named Kutenlu. There, they find a flower called the Lumina Cherry, which glows at night and is used as a power source for many different tools. Naofumi asks if they can take it home to use in their village, but Sedina replies that it seems to only grow well in this country. As they wander, they see fishermen gathering seaweed, and Sedina tells them it's best to reach the lighthouse by land. During their walk, they find many statues and don't understand what they are. Raftalia explains that these statues honor the Emperor's clan, which is beloved by the people, but the Empress's parents had to leave Kutenlu, despite its beauty. Suddenly, a huge monster appears and attacks a small child. Naofumi decides to save him, but Sedina stops him and sends the dragon, Galeon, instead. She then tells her friends to move away. We then see the small dragon destroying the large monster. Afterward, Naofumi tries to help the child, but the child is scared of him and runs away. They don't understand what this monster was or what it was doing here, but everyone in the city suddenly appears worried. The townspeople ask them what they are doing and why they aren't afraid of the authorities. At that moment, guards appear and ask if they were the ones who killed the monster. Naofumi tells them they only wanted to save the child, and that what happened was just one monster trying to eat another. The guards become angry because by this act, they have disobeyed the Emperor's orders. Sedina retorts that she is sure they are smart enough to recognize the creature that is with her. The water dragon then appears, and all the guards become frightened. They apologize and leave. At that moment, everyone in the city realizes that they are messengers of the water dragon. From the crowd, a man named Muramasa appears. He notes that while everyone was afraid of the authorities, they acted to save the child's life. Naofumi tells him that what they did was natural. If a child were attacked in front of them, they would of course save him. Muramasa then invites Naofumi's female companions for tea, calling them very beautiful. Sedina apologizes, saying they are in a hurry. Naofumi realizes this man targets every girl he sees and thinks he could be a Motoyasu too. The man is persistent, so Sedina uses her power to shock him and tells her friends to leave, as they have attracted too much attention. As they are leaving, they notice the boy from earlier watching them. They stop to talk, as Naofumi doesn't understand why the officials were upset. Sedina explains that the current empress forbids the killing of any living creature, even monsters, much like an ancient shogun once did. She is glad Galeon was with them. Naofumi reflects on this, realizing that under this law, even a monster that attacks another is not punished. If a monster's owner ordered the attack, perhaps the owner would be punished. but the authorities can't do anything to them, Naofumi's group, as long as the water dragon's emissary is with them. Naofumi concludes that this must also mean they can't even fish in this country, which is why the fishermen were gathering seaweed. Then, we see a citizen begging a guard who has taken his money. The guard says that those who do not pay their taxes are no different from traitors, and that he must not disobey the Empress's orders. He then leaves him and walks away. Naofumi tells his friends that they might be able to use this to their advantage, as he is sure that many citizens are unhappy with this law. Sadina points out that someone is watching them. Suddenly, they are snatched away from the spot. A guard goes after them but cannot find them. The person who took them speaks loudly, telling them he is not their enemy. He says the sea people shared the water dragon's words with him and he came to welcome them. He asks them to at least listen. Naofumi and his friends appear before him. He tells them his name is Luminos, son of Ralova, the city's governor. Raftalia asks him to speak with them normally. Luminos tells them they need their help. He is sure they have seen what is happening in this country regarding the law against killing living creatures, the exorbitant taxes, and how some people are literally starving. He says they cannot allow this evil government to continue, as they do not approve of the Empress's actions. He then tells them he will explain more if they agree to go with him to the palace. Naofumi and the girls agree to go with him. When they arrive, they meet Ralova, the city's governor. When he sees Raftalia, he tells her that she greatly resembles her father. He knew him well, saying he was very kind and that they spent a lot of time together. He then looks at Naofumi and recognizes him as the former Miko of the water dragon. He says they have heard a lot about him and that no amount of thanks would be enough for protecting Raftalia. Naofumi tells him he thought this place was isolated, yet he knows about the outside world. Ralova replies that this is a trade town, after all. He then says they need their help. They want Raftalia to take the throne and end this awful government. Everyone is shocked by this request. They came to this town only to deal with whoever was attacking Raftalia, and they plan to return to their own town as soon as that is over. Ralova tells them he understands, but if she becomes a puppet in the hands of selfish people like the current empress, she will not be a true empress. An emperor is supposed to exist for the world and for their people. This was the same way Raftalia's father thought, and it's one of the reasons he left, but it wasn't the only reason. A hideous battle broke out at that time over who would be the next emperor, and staying in this country would have meant a terrible end for Raftalia's father. Therefore, they have waited a long time for the moment when the true emperor would put an end to this and restore the world to how it should be. Naofumi asks about their plan. Ralova tells them the first thing they want is to eliminate the officials guarding the lighthouse to send a signal to start the revolution, believing this will benefit Naofumi's group as well. Naofumi asks if they have forces ready. Ralova informs him that his clan and the people of this town are ready to rise up. Naofumi then asks Raftalia to prepare her Miko outfit. Do you know what this means if I wear it? Raftalia asks, shocked. Yes, Naofumi tells her. They're going to target us anyway. We might as well have more allies. I want to disable that barrier quickly so we can meet up with those on the ship and look into their eyes. They have been waiting a long time for a sign to appear. I will help you put it on, Sadina tells her. Afterward, Raftalia comes out, and everyone is dazzled by her. The man speaks, saying, "We ask for your guidance, Your Majesty the Empress. We will follow you, even if it costs us our lives." Naofumi addresses them. The time for the true emperor has come to put an end to the evil government. You will have a true emperor for the world, for your people. Come with us, if you are brave. At night, Raftalia says to Naofumi, "You imitated Atla to stir up their enthusiasm." The dragon adds, "It worked, and our excitement is growing." Naofumi tells her, "We will take the lead. I don't want any unnecessary casualties." Raftalia replies, "Let's remember that so we can avoid it. We will have to press forward." After that, they go to the lighthouse. A guard stops them. "Stop. This is sacred ground belonging to the Empress. You are the fake emperor, and the wielders of evil spirit tools. We don't talk to traitors. Kill them all." Naofumi says to him, "Tell your leader that the true emperor has come to speak with him." In response, many soldiers come out to fight. They attack with all their strength, using their magic. Naofumi, along with Raftalia and Sadina, heads for the lighthouse. An enemy named Bialga appears, shouting, "Kill the fake emperor at once! You beauty who claims to be the emperor, feel my power. I am the one who has received the blessing of the true empress." He then uses his magic, and something strange happens. Sadina notes, "The protection Naofumi gave us has disappeared." Ralova comes to them and explains, "This is a Sakura Emperor Stone, a weapon that weakens the power of spirit tools and enhances the power of a person blessed by the Empress." Naofumi is amazed, saying, "It's the perfect weapon to stop the heroes." Then, Bialga attacks Ralova and throws him far away. Naofumi uses his magic, but nothing happens. "It blocks a hero's magic too," Naofumi says with surprise. "I want you to kill the traitors!" Bialga orders the soldiers. As they attack, Sadina uses her magic, vowing, "No matter what, I will protect you. Let the slaughter begin." The dragon also joins the fight. A soldier attacks Naofumi, but he uses his shield's power and kills them instantly. Bialga says, "No matter. This is the end. We will do this on behalf of the poor empress. We will turn ourselves into swords, merge your power with mine, and bring down destruction upon these fools." He then activates the stellar spell. absorbing the power of the soldiers behind him. He attacks and strikes Naofumi, who is shocked by his strength. Ralava explains, it is a special weapon spell that allows those granted a strong blessing by the Empress to gather the powers of others who have also been blessed. Sadina attacks Bialga, but he knocks her to the ground. When Raphtalia comes to save her, Bialga attacks her as well, mocking, "Is this all the power the fake emperor possesses?" Suddenly, Naofumi's stone shield changes into the Sakura Emperor shield. Muramasa appears saying, "It will enhance your abilities even inside the Empress's stone barrier." Everyone is amazed. "You have betrayed us! Why are you helping them?" Bialga yells. Muramasa replies that he is not betraying them, but is simply on the side of beautiful women. With their powers returned, Naofumi and Raphtalia attack Bialga, but he blocks and evades their spells. Sadina then asks Galeon to touch the Lumina Cherry. He activates it, neutralizing the power of the Emperor Stone and giving them control of the barrier. Sadina chants, "In the sealed lands of the Emperor, feelings wash away the old stagnant water, becoming the power that saves the world." Galeon also chants, "Sever the laws of truth, bind them together and make them spew the filth within them. By my power, awaken the force of destruction upon foolish followers. Water Dragon's Lumina Cherry destructive wave." Raphtalia strikes Bialga with her magic, finally killing him. Everyone rejoices at their success. In the morning, Naofumi's friends arrive from the ship. "It seems everyone is safe," Sadina says. They rejoice upon greeting Naofumi. Sei is overjoyed and hugs him, but Atla pushes her away. Naofumi comments that Muramasa is a womanizer, but he's the reason they agreed to help. Everyone then goes to hold a celebration. And so ends today's episode of this anime. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to receive all that is new. The episode begins with Naofumi and his friends with the governor of the city, Ralpha, and his men. Naofumi informs them that the lighthouse and its barrier are under their control, as they ignited the fire of rebellion as they wished. But before they take any further action, he wants to review matters. In the middle of his sentence, he looks at Ralpha and his men and finds them extremely exhausted. He asks them not to try to put Raphtalia at the forefront of their ailing minds. Ralpha apologizes for what they did. Raphtalia then speaks up, saying that Sadina should have been the one to stop them before she challenged them all to a drinking contest. At that moment, Naofumi shouts at the men, telling them to come to their senses, as time is running out. He then asks them where this Emperor of Kutenlo is. They can either talk to them or kill them, but he doesn't want to spend too much time on this. Ralpha replies that the current emperor is here in the capital. Sadina tells them that they didn't live in this place when she was here. Ralpha responds that the capital was moved when the current emperor ascended the throne, and that the homeland of the ancient emperors is now called the Old Capital. He believes they should start their invasion there. Sadina then says that it just occurred to her that the Old Capital is now where the emperor is enthroned. If Raphtalia performs the rituals there, she will be able to use the blessings as well, which will be important in their future battle. Leaving the Old Capital was a very bold decision. Ralpha replies that this is all because of Machina, the emperor's advisor and the de facto ruler of Kutenlo. She is evil in every sense of the word. Naofumi understands that she might target them now that they have taken over her lighthouses, and they must be prepared to deal with her. Now that this matter is settled, Naofumi thinks they can let Raphtalia wear her Miko outfit and perform a parade to raise the morale of the townspeople. Raphtalia asks him why everyone's morale would be raised by this outfit. He tells her it's because she looks beautiful in it. Suddenly, they hear a noise coming from outside. Everyone goes to see what it is. Naofumi thinks it might be an attack, or that the party they are holding in the town has gotten out of control. Raphtalia replies that it doesn't seem to be either of those possibilities because Atla feels a strange flow of energy. Then Rishia comes out, very frightened by the loud noise. When everyone observes the sound, they find that it is coming from the old burial mound. They don't know what is happening there. But when they look through a telescope, they see that there are multiple snake monsters. They wonder what to do about these monsters. Muramasa says that the government will do nothing. They are willing to release a sealed monster to protect their positions. Naofumi asks him what he knows about this. He tells him that he does not answer questions from a man who gathers girls around him. Sadina goes to him and asks him to tell her instead. Muramasa agrees, telling her that these mountains have ancient ruins where a monster was sealed after causing great harm to this town. Officially, the legend states that the emperor defeated it. But it was not defeated, it was only sealed. Due to its location, only a select few people know about this. It is said that it was sealed here to strengthen the barrier that separates Kutenlo from the outside world, and they can say that these ruins are all over the country and the government has revived one of them. There's another problem. A short while ago, the current young emperor decided he loved all monsters and wanted to lighten the government's burden using the blessings of the Sakura Emperor Stones. Naofumi is stunned by this revelation. By doing so, they have massively empowered a monster, bringing a catastrophe to the town. They barely managed to defeat that bear fireman yesterday. Raphtalia asks him what they will do. He tells her that while this is indeed a nuisance, it is also a massive opportunity. What would happen if the new emperor defeated the very monster the government revived before it could harm the citizens, and they made sure the entire country knew about it? He then tells everyone they will stage a simple, elegant story of a government that despises its people and a revolutionary army that fights for them. Ralpha declares that they are that revolutionary army, ready to rise against the government and do as he commands. Now Fumi orders them to kill the monster before it reaches the town, telling them that speed is their salvation now. They will split up, letting Galeon and Philo lead them there. Ralpha tells him they will form an army and follow. Now Fumi and his friends arrive at the monster's location. The dragon informs them that this beast is called a hydra, and it will be difficult to handle. It's not multiple monsters, but a single entity with 8 heads. If they get too close, the hero's protection will weaken, but they must destroy this beast before it reaches the town. The monster tries to strike them with its power, but it cannot harm them. At that moment, everyone feels a draconic power. The water dragon might be aiding them, but it won't last long. Therefore, Naofumi will deploy the Sakura sphere of influence at the front line. The beast once again tries to harm Naofumi and his friends. Naofumi unleashes his power, creating a barrier to shield them from the monster's devastating blows. He then asks Itsuki if the Sakura Emperor stone weapon is registered for her. She confirms that it is. At that moment, Philo declares that she can fight with them too, as the blacksmiths gave her something special. Naofumi looks at his friend's skills and smiles. Their high skill levels compensate for the nullified hero's stat boosts. He orders a retreat for some to assist Itsuki, Rishia, and Ren, then unleashes his own power, striking the serpent heads with immense force. Philo and the dragon charge in to strike as well, managing to sever 2 of the serpent heads. Now Fumi realizes then that the monster's defense isn't that sturdy, but Galeon called it a hydra for a reason. Suddenly, the beast regenerates its heads. Foal rushes to help Philo, landing in the middle of the beast and shouting to Philo that its gaze is fixed on the torso, believing that to be the true target. Philo speeds towards the monster to strike, but the beast unleashes its power and smacks her away. She gets up and charges again, but is repelled once more. The monster then unleashes flames from its mouths, aiming for Philo. Now Fumi sprints towards her, saving her with his own power. The dragon tries to strike the beast, but fails. They cannot dispel the creature unless they sever all the heads that generate the barrier simultaneously. Naofumi, knowing they have no time to waste, calls out his plan. Listen up, everyone. I have an idea. First, Raphtalia will shatter the monster's magical protection. Then, they will sever all of its heads at once, destroying its barrier as they finish it off. He asks Sadina to help him and perform a high-level magic chant with him. As planned, Raphtalia dashes towards the beast and strikes it with a powerful blow. The monster tries to hit her back, but fails. Raphtalia then tells Philo to provoke the monster's barrier, and Philo complies. At that moment, Sadina exclaims that they seem to have eradicated the protection from the Sakura Emperor Stone, and that they must press on. Sadina then unleashes a thunder spell. Now it's Atla's turn. She runs towards the monster and strikes it, with Ren assisting her by aiming his arrows at the monster's heads. Rishia helps too, directing her sword towards a head. Everyone is now fighting the beast, aiming to sever its heads in one fell swoop. Finally, Raphtalia uses her Stardust Blade to kill the monster. Just as they finish off the massive beast, the knights arrive. Suddenly, they sense the monster is about to explode. Everyone scatters to avoid being harmed, and true enough, the monster erupts in a massive explosion. Now Fumi unleashes his power, activating a barrier to save them. Galeon exclaims, "It seems our enemy is far stronger than we." Anticipated! The serpents then reappear, but this time it's a different beast than before. This one and the last are not the true body, Galeon warns. Destroying the real one will not be easy. I will stop its advance, Raphtalia declares. They all charge, unleashing their power against it, but the beast is too strong. Nothing seems to affect it. Now Fumi demands, "Is there any way to deal with this monster?" Galeon replies that it's a type of dragon of immense power, and Atla knows a little about them. That explains why the previous one didn't have a core. Now Fumi realizes. The real one must be inside. We have to prevent these things from exploding while we work on stealing the core. Once we have it, only empty shells will remain. What will we do with the core after we get it? He asks. Galeon explains, the Dragon Emperor will be weakened. If it's just the core, even the weakest among us can easily gain control over it. They launch another ferocious assault, but the creature takes no damage and instantly regenerates. Now Fumi! Sadina shouts. The Orochi is only targeting Raphtalia. She reminds it of the Emperor, whom it despises. Naofumi considers this. We could use her as bait, but we can't protect everyone without her. Raphtalia interjects with fierce determination. There are enough of us to handle this, and we have the Revolutionary Army here to provide support. Naofumi makes a decision. Raphtalia, Philo, Sadina, Galeon, and Rafa, you're with me. We're taking down the main body. The rest of you hold this thing in place. Buy us time, but do not kill it. The others backed by the soldiers, unleash a coordinated attack to pin down the monstrous clone. The army commander turns to his men. "One of you, get back to the town and issue an evacuation order." Naofumi and his elite team venture into the heart of the ruins, donning masks to protect themselves. "Don't worry," Naofumi assures them. "This isn't magic, but there's something in the air here. We can't stay long. It's gradually taking over this containment barrier," Galeon warns. "If we don't hurry, the other seals could break as well. The government here is a bunch of fools," Naofumi mutters. They stand before a wall covered in writing. It's the language of the heroes. He enhances the weapon code of the Saint's shield. How to enhance a weapon's power. Method 1. Share your power-up methods with other Saint or vassal weapon wielders. Naofumi scoffs. "This is useless. If Ren or Itsuki read this, the text might be different. Let's get them here after this is over." With their mission clear, they rush back out to the monsters. Galeon points to a purple light at the creature's base. "There, that's the core. It's far more powerful than the others. It's gradually absorbing the code that has spread into the dragon's veins to become stronger." Sedina smiles. Naofumi likes to get things done quickly and with as little fuss as possible. In the end, he is the one who will rule this country. Naofumi turns to her. "You should be able to execute your beast transformation." Sedina transforms into a small, powerful dolphin-like creature. "I can feel the power flowing through my entire body," she exclaims. Everyone stares in amazement at her new form. With a battle cry, Sedina attacks, unleashing the power of water upon the beast. Raphtalia joins the assault, and together they strike with relentless fury. Finally, with a decisive blow, they destroy the monster, which turns to ash. As they all cheer in victory, the army commander declares with newfound hope, "We can defeat the Empress and her advisor, Makina." After the battle, Naofumi speaks to his friends. The core of the Orochi now transformed into a sword in his hands. "It seems this is the Orochi's core," he says, presenting the blade. "This is the cursed sword, Ama no Murakumo. A mere touch is enough to curse you. It looks like you got it," Rishia says in awe. Just then, the master smith and his friend arrive. "Naofumi," the smith says, "I heard your battles were insane, but I never expected this level of madness." His eyes fall upon the sword, and he is captivated. "So this is its true form." He reaches for it. Naofumi warns him to stay away, but the smith waves him off. "Don't worry," he says confidently. As he grips the sword, he feels its immense power. It has a powerful curse. It will take time before we can wield it. But I am a blacksmith. You can't call yourself a smith if you let weapons curse you. Can you make sure it doesn't get out of control? Naofumi asks. "If that monster returns, many people will suffer." The master smith nods, a determined look on his face. "I will help you. It would be my pleasure." With the immediate threat handled, Naofumi turns to the others. "The Orochi is dead. We must ensure the entire country knows that the Revolutionary Army and the new Empress destroyed the government's monster before it could harm anyone." He looks at Raphtalia. "This is just for appearances, of course. You don't actually have to be the Empress." The army commander then looks at Philo and asks when the battle will begin. Naofumi explains, "Actually, Philolials gain special powers if a hero raises them." The commander observes Philo's unique appearance. A white Philolial with cherry blossom-colored embroidery. This could play to our advantage more and more. And that is how today's epic episode of this anime concludes. We hope you'll wait for the upcoming episodes. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to receive all that is new. An anime episode starts with Naofumi and his companions. Ralofia informs them that the Queen of Philolialia has the same appearance as Philo's feathers and worships the national pies of Kotenlo. They decide to put Philo at the front of their advance toward the old capital. The effect is amazing, as they are welcomed by every town they pass through and are able to bring them under their control without any significant resistance. Afterward, Raphtalia talks to Naofumi, saying she can't believe it worked so quickly. Naofumi tells her the same applies to her as well. At that moment, Ralofia approaches them and tells Raphtalia that her presence in these clothes, which are a symbol of the Emperor, will cause everyone who is dissatisfied with the current Emperor to join them, and this will help them expand their forces even more. Thanks to her and the plane, the old capital is within their sights, and they will wait here in the camp until the rear units catch up, which should take 2 or 3 days. Naofumi replies that he doesn't want to stop their advance, but he believes he has no other choice. Ralofia responds that once they control the old capital, they will hold an imperial succession ceremony in the Holy Lands, which will grant her the powers and influence of the Emperor. Naofumi replies that this doesn't mean she has to suddenly become the new Emperor, so she shouldn't worry about it so much. Then, we see a girl looking for the path the army is taking, and she hurries after them. The scene shifts to Naofumi, Raphtalia, Ralofia, and his men, where they are talking together about how their enemies still don't want to stop the fighting. The Imperial advisor, Makina, has no intention of doing so. Ralofia also heard reports that the government army is gathering in the old capital and is ready to fight them. The Emperor's personal forces, led by the water dragon Miko, have already entered the capital. Naofumi asks about these forces. Luminous tells him that, unfortunately, they sent many spies to investigate, but no one returned. Then, Sedina adds that she is very sorry. She doesn't know anything about what happened in this town after she left, but she is sure that it's someone from her clan. Naofumi interrupts, saying that even if they enter the old capital, They still have to fight these soldiers, and he asks everyone to always stay alert. After the meeting, Naofumi sits alone. Philo comes to him and tells him that food is ready. He replies that he will check the blacksmith's workshop first, as they should have something for him. He asks Raptalia and Philo to rest early for tomorrow's procession. He then asks Atla and Fool to train after dinner. Atla replies that he shouldn't go to a strange place alone, so she asks to be his personal guard. Her brother continues and begs Naofumi to allow them to protect him, on the way there at least, and they will train and do everything he wants afterward. Naofumi refuses and tells them again to go eat and then train. He orders Fool to stop spoiling Atla. At that moment, Sen comes to take Naofumi to his workplace. We then hear Atla arguing with her brother, Fool, and scolding him that she lost her job because of him. He replies that he would have done the same thing and he had to intervene quickly. At night, we see Naofumi walking with Sen. He is surprised to see the girl from before. He apologizes to her. She asks him if he knows where the main street is. He replies that if she is looking for it, it's at the end of that road. The girl thanks him. After the girl leaves, Naofumi senses she was very nervous and suspects she has a problem. He then goes to the blacksmith's place, where he finds Muramasa tied up with ropes. Muramasa asks Naofumi to untie him, but Naofumi doesn't understand what's going on. The blacksmith tells him that Muramasa said he would quit his work and go drinking. Muramasa then approaches Sen and tells her she's as beautiful as ever, so beautiful that he can't even look at her. Sen asks him about the sword they gave him a few days ago. Muramasa replies that for a master like him, that curse means nothing, but the tools he needs can only be found in his workshop in the old capital. He suddenly finds them and didn't need to go looking for them, and he's sure he can find the best tools with Sen by his side. Naofumi asks him to stop messing around. The blacksmith then says he already knows that Muramasa has a blacksmith's workshop in the old capital. Naofumi understands that the sword will be reforged after they control the old capital. Then, the lost girl who asked Naofumi for directions to the main street appears again. They ask her for her name, and she says it's Zodia. Muramasa tells her that he is the greatest blacksmith in this country, or rather, in the entire world. He then tells her he knows a place that serves the best sake and asks her what she thinks about going with him. Zodia refuses and explains that she has to go see the procession of the person who will become the new emperor. Naofumi understands that this procession will take place tomorrow. After that, Muramasa talks to Zodia and asks her to show him the way tomorrow, and tonight she can go with him to have some sake and get to know each other better. Zodia doesn't answer him and tells Naofumi that if he stays here, she will stay with him. He replies that he will go with his friend Sen, and they do. Muramasa begs them, saying he will fix that cursed sword or make whatever weapons they want for the rest of his life. Naofumi agrees. Muramasa then guides Naofumi and his friends on the correct path to this inn. During their conversation, a merchant comes out and asks them to go and talk somewhere else, away from his shop. Zodia gestures to him, and the merchant welcomes her and asks her to enter the shop. Everyone enters behind her and they eat. While they are eating, Naofumi asks Muramasa why he will take the lead. Muramasa replies that he is very crazy. Zodia then talks to Naofumi and asks him what race he is. Naofumi doesn't answer, as Muramasa interrupts and says he's a kumai. Zodia then says that people tell her her ears and tail are very cute. She then puts their favorite drink in front of them to drink. At that moment, Muramasa suggests they play a game to have an unforgettable night, which is the Emperor's Game. Naofumi is happy because they will be playing with Masuzu cards, which are a lot of fun. The game begins, and Naofumi wins in the first minute. Everyone is shocked because this is the first time he has played this game. He tells them he has played a similar game before. They continue playing all night until Muramasa passes out. Naofumi asks Sen to rest because they will wake up early tomorrow and it's time to go home. Zodia asks them to play just one more game, but Naofumi refuses and says they've had enough for the night. Zodia asks him if they can play this game again when they meet next time. They agree and drink their favorite drink at that beautiful moment. On their way back, Naofumi carries Muramasa to take him back to his house because he had passed out. Zodia says she was very happy today and has never had so much fun. She gives Naofumi a card to commemorate their meeting and says, "You want to marry me, don't you?" Naofumi is surprised and she laughs at him for taking it seriously. He says he has other, more important things to do than deal with her nonsense, then says goodbye and leaves. The next day, we see Naofumi in front of a cart distributing food. Raptalia tells him she's amazed at how he found all this food. He says all the credit goes to the Emperor. Naofumi asks Raptalia what happened last night. She tells him they were talking about Atla when they were training. Atla said, "You never stop, but I do everything for you." She said she wanted to go with him, and Fool agreed, saying, "I'll go and see if we can leave." Raptalia sees him, and Fool gets flustered, saying, "I can leave for a while. I've finished my training." Atla says she wants to go. Raptalia tells him, "If you're thinking about what's best for her in battle, I won't say another word. But now you seem to be spoiling her too much. If you don't fix this behavior, something terrible might happen someday. If you want what's best for her, you sometimes have to stop her, even if it means clashing in battle. As her older brother, you have to protect her." Fool replies, "I have to be the older brother here. I will be a great older brother, just like you are a great older sister." They return to the present and distribute food. After that, they go home. Naofumi talks to himself, saying, "We will enter the old capital tomorrow." Then Zoya comes, and he says to her, "You're lost again? I want to see the procession." He asks her why she is so interested in the new empress. She tells him, I think the current emperor is doing his best, but Cottonlow is in a terrible state, and everyone is having a hard time. My work is difficult, and I have to do it myself. I want everyone to be happy, but things don't work out that way. But after coming here, I saw how happy everyone was for the first time in a long time. The new empress was in the midst of all those smiles. When I saw that, I realized she knows a way to make everyone happy, so I decided to talk to her. Maikachi then apologizes for talking so much, and tells Naofumi they should play Masuzu cards. We promised we would do that the next time we meet. Naofumi says, we'll go to my house. It will be more fun to have more people. Zodia is happy and says, we can have a drink to warm ourselves up. Naofumi then goes to the bathroom, and when he returns, he doesn't find Zodia. After that, Naofumi talks to Sedina. I think being Miko the water dragon must be difficult work. Sedina replies, of course. You personally serve the Empire. Miko the water dragon is a flashy name for everything she has done, like leading armies in battle or executing criminals by order of the Emperor. By criminals, I mean anyone who causes trouble for the Emperor. I'm sure another member of my clan is doing that now. It's sad to think about. Our race is always chosen, in every generation, because of our combat skills. They sometimes call us the Miko the Assassins. It's a very scary name. Naofumi is surprised and says, you didn't have a choice, given your situation. At some point, we will have to put an end to all that. But don't worry, everything will be fine. Let's go to sleep. The next day, everyone prepares for the fight. A soldier comes with a message, saying, last night, a town behind us was ambushed by our government army. Naofumi gets angry and says, I left Itsuki and Rishia in the town behind us. He then asks Atla, Folan Sen, to take Galian and go to provide support. Then another soldier comes with a report from an enemy envoy to the leader of the rebels, from Miko the water dragon. Last night, one of my units acted like a bird. This was not my wish as the leader of the government army. I have regained control of it. For this war, I would like a representative from each side to meet, and I will try to fix things. I will represent our army, and I want you or someone of equal status to represent your side. Naofumi says, this is a unilateral decision. He then takes the letter, reads it, looks at the seal, and is very surprised. The episode ends here. The show's host says, wait for the next episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all that is new. The anime episode begins with Raphtalia as she meets with the Miko, who is the water dragon. The Miko tells her that she had been hoping it would be her who came. Her form then transforms into that of an ordinary girl, and she tells Raphtalia that her name is Shildina, and she is the water dragon Miko. Raphtalia introduces herself by name, then tells her she has come as a representative of the Revolutionary Army. Shildina replies that she is sure she can guess the reason she was brought here. She wants them to immediately stop their attack on the old capital. We then go back in, time a little, before Raphtalia went to the water dragon Miko. She was sitting with Ralova and his men, where Ralova was objecting to her going alone. He pointed out that the message specifically stated she must go by herself, and if she went alone, they would not be able to protect her. Then Sedina says she is also opposed to it, warning that while she perhaps shouldn't say this, the water dragon Miko would resort to any cheap trick to protect the Emperor. She then asks Naofumi for his opinion. He tells them he agrees on the danger of the matter, but it's an opportunity to meet the water dragon Miko directly. Raphtalia replies to him that if she is to eventually face the Emperor, she must meet her someday, and this is a perfect opportunity for her. With that, everyone agrees to her going. As they prepare for her departure, Philo says she will go scout the location. Sedina reassures her, saying she is certain Raphtalia will be able to do it, and that if any harm befalls her, she will inform them immediately. Then, Naofumi says that he has granted Raphtalia the full authority to make decisions on their behalf. We return again to Raphtalia with Shildina. Shildina says that she had thought the rebels were just a group of chaotic commoners, but they have become a threat they can no longer ignore. As long as they are willing to fight, they will be met with resistance, and the old capital could become a war zone where many people will lose their lives. However, she knows this is not what they want. Therefore, she will make her an offer, stop their treason and surrender. If they do so, the rebels will not be prosecuted for their crimes. She knows Raphtalia is close to the Emperor and promises that the rebel army will be incorporated into the Emperor's forces, and Raphtalia will be given a government position to lead them. If she wishes to return to Melromark, she can, and they will guarantee her safety and the safety of her village. She knows this is not a bad deal for her. Raphtalia replies that she came to this country to prove she has no intention of taking the Emperor's position and to correct that misunderstanding. But she has seen many people suffering here in this country because of government decrees, which mean the people cannot even protect themselves. She saw that the magistrates oppress the people with huge taxes, and she also heard that the attack by the Orochi was due to the blessing being withheld by the Emperor. The Imperial Army is fighting because they are angry with the government and will not be allowed to suffer anymore. After seeing them suffer, she said to herself that she wants to save everyone who is suffering. She then apologizes because she must refuse this offer. Obeying the government will only lead to more suffering for the people. Shildina answers that she did not realize the depth of her her feelings for the people. Therefore, she has another offer to make. They will withdraw their forces from the old capital. If they do that, they will not have to lay down their arms. It will be a temporary truce. Raphtalia is shocked that they would give them the old capital and offer a truce. Shildina continues, saying that if she agrees, she will ensure that Raphtalia gets a chance to meet Emperor Rothmila. They do not want to see the people suffer from this war any more than this. Raphtalia begins to trust her. Shildina tells her that she will keep her promise if she agrees to her terms. Raphtalia agrees to this offer. Shildina thanks her very much for that, then tells her that as soon as things are ready, she will send a message regarding the upcoming conference and that they should be waiting. Raphtalia then bids her farewell to return to Naofumi and the others. But before she leaves, Shildina stops her and tells her that if the peace talks become impossible, she would like to ask a favor of her. After that meeting with the water dragon, Miko, the government forces leave the old capital and the new empress's supporters are welcomed in the city. When they heard about this bloodless surrender, the members of the revolutionary army became suspicious. But in the end, Raphtalia was able to convince them. At night, Raphtalia meets with Naofumi and Sadina. Sadina says she is shocked by their offer of peace talks. She thinks the water dragon Miko is acting on her own. Raphtalia cuts her off and tells her that she believes this is nothing but an indication that things are bad within the government army. She then remembers her words with Shildina when she told her that if peace talks become impossible, she wants to ask something of her. If the rebel army wins, the defeated government leaders will be executed without a doubt. When that happens, she wants her to seize the throne from Emperor Rothmila. It's clear the battle is not in their favor, and it won't be long until the rebels win. The emperor wants the people to be happy and the war to stop. She then begs her to do it. Raphtalia finishes her story to Naofumi and Sadina, saying she doesn't know how things will go when she meets the emperor, but she will become the new empress. She apologizes to Naofumi for deciding all of this without asking him. Naofumi tells her he will always support her as long as this is her decision. Both Itsuki and Rashia will arrive in the old capital tomorrow. Then they will hold her coronation ceremony along with a ceremony to grant her a blessing, so she will have the same influence as the emperor. The next morning, Naofumi and his group go with Ralova and his men to the Holy Lands. There, they find the Dragon Hourglass. When they look at the stones there, they find words written on them in the hero's language. When Naofumi places his hand on them, they understand that this language tells of how to make their weapons stronger. It is the second method to enhance the vassal weapons. It will enhance power through trust and gaining trust. Then Naofumi says he realizes that when they cooperated with the vassal wielders, he felt greater power. And when Motoyasu, Itsuki, and Ren were separated and couldn't believe in anyone, they seemed weaker. This is the reason. After that, Naofumi places his hand on the third method to enhance the vassal weapons and finds it is a spell to strengthen energy. It permanently extracts energy from the heroes' bodies to grant them a constant level of power. But this power can also be harnessed to unleash surprisingly strong skills. Something strange happens to Itsuki, and they understand that he can use Hengen Muso too. Itsuki says that experience points can be used for magic, attacks, and skills, and just concentrating on it seems to drain him. After that, one of them speaks, saying everything is ready for the coronation. Indeed, the coronation ceremony begins, with Raphtalia standing to be crowned. In that moment, everyone sees that Raphtalia has begun to look very beautiful. After Raphtalia's coronation, everyone rejoices because she possesses the required power to become an empress. A new emperor has been born. Then Naofumi talks to Raphtalia, asking her how she feels after receiving the blessing. Raphtalia tells him it doesn't seem real, but it seems to have left an effect. She gives Naofumi a soothing blessing, telling him, I must do this for Itsuki and the others as well. Naofumi replies, yes, we found stones with the hero's language written on them. We need to bring Ren here via the Dragon Hourglass. We might learn something new. We will return to Melromark for now. After that, Naofumi learns from these people that the city of Quten-Lo will forge equipment for the final battle. The monsters are growing, which makes transporting things easier. They ask the blacksmiths to make weapons and accessories that are easy to use in preparation for the battle against the Phoenix. Then Naofumi says, it seems no one is attacking the village. I can probably send more people there. We will go at once. After returning to Quten-Lo, Naofumi took the people they brought on an introductory tour. He asked Rat and Windia to investigate the ecosystem of Quten-Lo. He took Eclair's uncle and Ren to Motoyasu. He also took Ren to see the stones in the Holy Lands, but they didn't learn anything. He says, I need to open an experience range, so it was new. It would be good for him. We can bring Motoyasu as well. Then, the other leaders in the countryside heard of the liberation of the old capital and stood up to join them. This man then speaks, saying, we will destroy the government army for you. Raphtalia is surprised and says, I must tell you something. My goal is to end the people's suffering at the hands of the government, not to destroy everyone. I want to make this kingdom a wonderful place for everyone to live in. But if we have to sacrifice someone to achieve that, how are we different from the current government? I want you to help me find a way to fix things without bloodshed. After that, we see a girl screaming at Shildina, saying, I ordered you to protect the old capital. How dare you abandon your post? Then you speak of peace talks with the rebels. What's wrong with you? You are a huge failure. I was foolish to accept any oracles, but at least the previous Miko did as she was told. Then the Empress comes and speaks to her. Surely you don't want the war to reach the people. Shildina says she wants to talk with her. The Orochi attack at the port. It's true that the cause of it was your blessing. The people are starving and can't even protect themselves from monsters. I do not doubt your judgment, but right now, the people need a path to peace. The other girl said, I will not allow you to speak further in front of the Empress. You are nothing but a traitor to the orders I gave you. You would receive the death penalty in most circumstances, but I need you to reconsider your long history. As the water dragon Miko, I will let the Emperor decide your fate." Then she orders her, "Stop the rebels at the capital, even if it costs you your life." In the early morning, the children are playing. Naofumi says to Raphtalia, "It's been 3 days since the water dragon Miko went to the capital, and there has been no news." Sadina says, "But don't we think the government army has retreated a little?" Naofumi agrees with her, saying, "Yes, there are small skirmishes all over the country. We have Fol, Atla, Itsuki, and Ren. We can neutralize the enemy's barriers with Raphtalia's blessings, which are more than enough." Raphtalia says, "I hope the meeting with the Emperor goes well." Then Sadina tells them that things will be fine. "I'm sure the Emperor will understand your feelings." Then a soldier comes running to them, telling them to go to the capital. After that, everyone gathers, and the man says, "Our spies in the capital have delivered a report. The government army is massing in the capital. Dozens have already arrived, and are preparing to attack." Naofumi says, "What happened? Wasn't the water dragon Miko going to stop the war?" The soldier informs him, "They handed over the old capital to make us relax our defenses and gather their forces. We must attack and destroy the capital." Then Sadina says that the water dragon Miko does not control the entire army. It's possible someone is behind this, the Emperor or Machina. Then the soldier speaks again, saying that Raphtalia made a promise with the water dragon Miko, but they broke that promise. "We will attack too." Then another soldier comes, wanting to tell them something urgent. The water dragon Miko has come, alone to the capital's checkpoint. This is how today's episode of this anime ends. Wait for me in the coming episodes. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon so you get everything that is new. The anime episode begins with Shildona arriving at the place where Naofumi and his friends are. She speaks with them, tells them her name, and explains that she has come as a representative of the Emperor. She carries a message for the rebellious Empress. The path to peace has been shattered, and an all-out battle can no longer be avoided. A battle in the capital would cost many innocent lives, and she knows they don't want a pointless conflict. Therefore, she wants them to resolve this war with a duel between representatives from each side. If they can defeat her, the government's army will collapse and the war will end. If they truly desire peace, they should let this duel put an end to their revolution. Raphtalia runs towards her to negotiate, but Raluma objects, asking her to reconsider since she is the leader of their armies and they don't want her to go alone. Raphtalia tells him that she was the one who wanted to negotiate with Miko the water dragon in the first place. Then Miko speaks to them, announcing that she challenges Sadina. Sadina accepts. As she steps down, Raluma stops her, telling her they haven't yet decided to agree to this duel. Sadina replies, telling him that she came alone. If they don't agree to this duel, no one knows what people will say later, and it will likely affect matters after the revolution ends. She knows that Miko is terrifying, and if they don't want to get hurt, they should be good children and watch what happens between them from a safe distance. She then goes down to Miko and welcomes her. Miko tells her that she will finally atone for the shame of their clan here. Sadina doesn't understand her words, so Miko reveals that she is her younger sister. Sadina is shocked to hear this. Miko continues, explaining that she was born after Sadina fled their homeland, so she understands why she doesn't know her. But because of her, Miko was forced to become the water dragon Miko. She tried hard to be her replacement, but failed. Miko then remembers when she was young, and their leader berated her for letting a criminal escape. "Why can't you do what Sadina did?" Everyone felt ashamed of her because she could never replace Sadina, and that there was always a difference between the older and younger sister. They told her they didn't need a failure like her. Miko would just cry and apologize. She tells her sister Sadina that she suffered so much to become the Miko and trained extensively to do so. She then screams at Sadina, telling her that she abandoned her country and her clan and is now a traitor standing against the Emperor. The former Miko, Sadina, will be judged on behalf of the Emperor. Miko then rushes to strike her, but she is unable to as Sadina resists. Miko the water dragon uses a wind spell to protect herself and bury her opponents. We see Sadina standing still, not moving. Miko runs at her to strike her with her sword, but before she does, she asks her why she isn't moving. Sadina tells her that she is the reason for her suffering, and that she knows she has endured a lot of pain. Miko leaves her and goes to drink from a beverage. Sadina understands they will challenge each other through drinking, because if Miko cannot win under the same conditions, she will be labeled the Miko of shame. Sadina tells her that she knows their clan well. They forced her to be the perfect Miko and never allowed her to fail, forcing her to harm people against whom she held no grudge. They made her little sister do these things. If she doesn't want to do it, the best thing is to retire and she will help her. Miko orders her to be silent, saying she doesn't know what happened because of her escape. Sadina replies that they must put an end to their clan's oppressive rule so that another Miko doesn't suffer as they did. Her sister says that a Miko is someone who dedicates their life to protecting the Emperor, and if she was born into this world to become the Miko, she will perform her duty to the fullest. Suddenly, an aura appears around Shildona's sword and enters her body. No one sees it except Philo and her companion. Shildona then uses Sadina's magic, the power to copy the will and memories of something onto a card and reproduce it if necessary. At that moment, Sadina understands that this is the Oracle. Suddenly, a sword emerges from the ground and Miko's tone changes. She tells Sadina that she will kill her without making her suffer. Sadina stands firm, not letting her kill her. Miko tries to strike her many times, but fails. Miko tells her that just as she has people she risks her life to protect, Miko also has people she wants to protect, and she cannot lose this battle. She then uses a lightning spell, shocking everyone as she was able to use it on her own. Her sister Sadina then transforms into a Miko as well, telling her, "I have become stronger since leaving this country." Sadina says, "It's impossible for you to defeat me by copying my old techniques." Then Shildina stands up, telling her, "I have never lost." She eats a ruker fruit, falls to the ground, and then rises again. Naofumi wonders why all this is happening. Suddenly, something strange occurs. Shildina, now facing Sadina, has a tail like Raphtalia's, shocking everyone. After that, Shildina says, "Power is overwhelming. I will kill you." Sadina scoffs at her, saying, "So this form is your trump card? You seem very confident in yourself." Sadina attacks her, but Shildina parries her blows. Shildina then strikes back, her attacks much stronger than before. She uses illusion magic and attacks again, but Sadina uses Thunderburst, and Shildina's clones vanish. "Fragment of the Five Elements Emperor," Shildina says, appearing behind Sadina and striking her to the ground. Shildina states, "Earth conquers water." Naofumi and his friends rush to Sadina's side, deeply worried and saddened. Shildina tells them that this time she has succeeded in defeating them. Naofumi looks at her and thinks to himself, even Sadina couldn't face her. What are we going to do? Sadina wakes up and hugs Naofumi because he was worried about her, but he gets angry and tries to push her away. Then we see Shildina, as the water Miko, becoming very weak and unstable. Shildina returns to her senses and sees everything she drank is what caused this. Shildina then speaks to Naofumi, saying, "If you're with the rebellious empress, that means you have a soul-calming tool." Naofumi replies, "Yes, I am the shield hero." Suddenly, something strange happens to Shildina, and everyone becomes worried about her. She says, "There is a large gap in this girl's chest, and something huge is trying to enter." Sadina exclaims, "Is the Oracle's power going out of control?" We then see Shildina screaming at the top of her lungs. Raftalia tells them to back away, then uses her power on Shildina, but something blocks her attack. Miko transforms into a doppelganger of Raftalia, leaving everyone stunned. She then speaks to them saying, "The time has come to destroy this country," and disappears before their eyes. Everyone is bewildered, not knowing who she is. Then, Philo tells Naofumi, "Rafu-chan says she hears a voice from your pocket." The card is saying, "Save me." Naofumi takes the card out of his pocket, and as he looks at it, he realizes it flew towards the capital. He tells them they are heading to the capital and will send a messenger if they need anything, telling them to stay there until then. Reluma reminds him that the government army is in the capital, but Naofumi assures him they will be fine. Philo transforms into a bird, and Naofumi tells Sadina they are going to save her little sister. She thanks him, and they fly towards the capital. The scene shifts to Makina, who is telling her soldiers to take all the treasure from the storeroom. A soldier asks what they should do with the Emperor. She tells him to leave the kid, as he will be an obstacle in their path. She says, "He's the Emperor. He can take responsibility and die." The scene shifts back to Naofumi, asking Sadina if she knows where the Emperor is. She tells him he is in the tallest building in the castle. From there, they decide to go. Yes, my friends, a great battle will ensue between them. Wait to see it with your own eyes. They set off, covering a great distance with Philo, who has transformed into a giant chick. But they stop suddenly after hearing several consecutive explosions, like intercontinental missiles. When they look from afar, they see the royal palace being destroyed, with a lot of smoke rising from it. They rush there at top speed before it's too late. When they finally arrive, they find some of the soldiers brutally killed. They continue until they meet a running man. Naofumi stops him and asks, "Why are you running? Tell me what happened." The man tells him that a savage woman is chasing them. When he looks beside him, he is frozen with terror to find her right in front of him. But in reality, my friends, it's not her. It's the other woman who has transformed into her exact look-alike. After that, we see the original savage woman. What will happen now? Wait for the next episode to see what happens. Our episode begins with Naofumi and his companions as they finally reach the source of the explosions. They find a disguised girl destroying and detonating things as she pleases. They are very surprised. She then jumps and flies, trying to escape, but Naofumi and his party follow her at top speed. Finally, they catch up to her. She has her back to them, a sign of power and pride. She tells them, "How foolish. For someone who will be a leader. No, this was just the vanguard." She means Makina. "I killed her and drank her blood." She tells him, "Don't worry. I have only dealt with the filth that contaminates this country." But in reality, the original owner of this body tried to resist. Yes, she means Shildina. Raftalia tries to figure out who this girl is, but they still don't know. The girl tells them, "I've had enough. You should be punished accordingly." At that moment, something very strange happens. A large monster glows behind her, but it takes control of her, and she falls. Rather, it emerges beside her as if she were a demoness. It says to her, "I can't believe you disobeyed the signal and killed me. I didn't expect you to have these qualifications, but this is perfect." Everyone is stunned by this strange situation. Yes, it's Makina. She tells her, "The body you brought, I will take it back now." Then she places her hand on her neck or chest and tries to retrieve the body again. The other girl screams, "Stop! Stop! No one understands anything." They wonder, is this a ghost, a genie, or what? What is happening? Please tell us. Perhaps it's the ghost of Makina. Here, Raftalia decides to fight her immediately. She attacks with her great sword in a major assault, but unfortunately, she couldn't do anything to her, as if she had cut through air. Then the spirit uses her power on her. Raf, the little animal, tries to save her, but she uses the power of air on him and throws him far away. The situation is very strange. We see a girl within a girl, or perhaps she is possessed by jinn or spirits, but we still don't know what is happening. Naofumi tries to comprehend what exactly happened and uses a great power. He asks Raphtalia, do you know what must be done now? Here, she uses her sword again, pinpoints her exact location, and delivers a decisive blow. As for Sedina, she tries to help using that very rare imported water, unleashing a water storm that burns the spirit. The spirit becomes enraged and uses her powers against them, but Naofumi blocks it with his barrier shield. Then she comes from behind and delivers a final blow, and thank goodness she is gone from their sight. Then she says to him, "Oh, Naofumi, you have a card that Shieldina gave you. Do you mean the Ofuda?" She replied, "Exactly. This is her heart, crystallized and separated from her body. I am surprised she gave it to someone she just met and didn't know better. I don't understand how she could do that. But maybe she did it because she trusted you and liked you from first sight." Then she looked at Raphtalia and said, "If you agree to fight me, I will release Shieldina. But if you refuse, consider her already dead." Here, Raphtalia decides to fight her face to face, saying, "This is my fault from the beginning because I couldn't free Shieldina, so why should I run away?" The villainess said to her, "And you think you can escape? I would have stabbed you in the heart with a knife before you even moved." Just as the battle between them begins, it is very intense, exciting, and fast. The villainess was so strong that she told them, "You can give her all the support you want." And indeed, Naofumi uses his power on her, while the other uses energy from the earth. But Naofumi says, "I will create our own anti-missile to neutralize her." She tells him, "Do whatever you want, but it's useless. You won't be able to do anything." Then they attack each other again with great energy. They go up to the roof of the building and Raphtalia launches a surprise attack, but the other hits her in the back with a hammer, sending her flying. The Empress speaks to Raphtalia. "Your defense is solid. You know some tricks, but you still lack knowledge and skill in illusions. If you want a clash of weapons, I am ready." The Empress uses her power on Raphtalia and attacks her with very powerful blows. Raphtalia goes to her using her power, but it has no effect. The Empress says, "This is a skill that is difficult to deal with. Now that I have warmed up, it's time to fight you seriously." Then, the Empress uses the 5 elements Emperor Splitter and attacks Raphtalia with it. But she parries and dodges all the strikes. The Empress says that her weapon is temporarily disabled. With that skill, you can imitate the Emperor's techniques to some extent, but if you want to be able to use it seriously, you must improve, or it will rust. Then Raphtalia uses her power, and the Empress parries it, saying, "I'm surprised you've learned that country's style. Enough with the compliments, now it's my turn." Then she uses her power, firing at Raphtalia, but Raphtalia is very strong and dodges her attacks. The Empress says, "I'm disappointed. It seems the true lineage of emperors ends with this generation." This angers Raphtalia, and she attacks the Empress, using the Sword of Fire and succeeds. But the Empress uses the power of water to extinguish the fire. We see the Empress activating all these copies. Raphtalia says, "I cannot draw out my power to match your strength or speed, so I will do my best." She uses the cherry blossom dance and they fight each other with great intensity. Everyone is stunned by the sky as it has turned the place a shade of purple. Then Naofumi says, "I think I finally understand why Raphtalia's magical talent is light and darkness. It's not just for bending light or hiding in the dark. Just like yin and yang, her talent contains both light and dark, making her an expert in elemental contrast." After that, we return to the Empress saying, "You have done well to hold out so far. This series of powerful skills grows stronger with each attack, as is evident, but it consumes your strength greatly in a short period." She tells her, "I know, but I will not back down." Then the Empress attacks Raphtalia, but she parries her blows, saying, "I will counter the power of Yang with Yin and nullify it." The Empress tells her, "All this will end in the blink of an eye. Now, if you do not want to die, come with me." But Raphtalia doesn't listen and uses her magic, striking the Empress. Then the Empress uses an illusion, so when Raphtalia attacks her, she cannot reach her. She places this paper towards her heart. The Empress tells her, "You lack a lot, but I will admit you have high morale. Perhaps I can entrust you with the reins." Then the Empress falls, saying she didn't use her full power. "I used most of the power I could with this body. If you cannot surpass me, you are not worthy of being a Miko, especially since you are already cooperating with the user of a vassal weapon. Otherwise, you would not be able to punish the fools when they appear. May you remain humble and strive to preserve the Imperial Kilin lineage. My country has suffered a lot of damage, but I was able to see something exciting in the end. Be sure to work hard and don't let them defeat you. And now, it is time for the ghosts of the past to fade away. And indeed, this ghost woman fades from Shieldina. Everyone comes to check on her, and she is unconscious. Naofumi tries to use healing magic, but it doesn't work on her, as she needs advanced healing. He orders Philo to take her to the Revolutionary Army. Meanwhile, the soldiers are searching for their hateful enemy, Machina, and want to capture Emperor Raphmilla. They look from a distance and find Raphtalia and the shield hero with her. The shield hero signals to them, and the soldiers exclaim, "We have won!" Everyone cheers and rejoices. In the evening, they take Shieldina to a resting room. She wakes up and they reassure her. She gets up in a panic, and they tell her, "You have been unconscious for 2 days. Don't get up so suddenly." She is surprised by this long period, and asks him what happened next. The shield hero tells her, "Machina was killed by the former empress whom you summoned with your Miko ability. After the former empress's fight with Raphtalia, we went up to his room in the castle, but he had been abandoned by Machina and the other men. He was trembling alone in his room. When we told him that Machina was dead, he started acting like a true emperor and offered us his life. But that would have contradicted the promise Raphtalia made to you. We took the title of emperor from him without killing him, of course. We scolded him harshly for his unjust laws, and told the Revolutionary Army that the young emperor had been killed and devoured by a Philolial. Shieldina is happy to hear this news, but she will not see him again. Suddenly, a small child enters and calls out to Shieldina. She is overjoyed, and it becomes clear to us that this child is the little emperor, Raft. Raft tells her, "My dear, I am no longer the emperor. This girl is," referring to Raftalia. At that moment, Shieldina begins to cry intensely. The shield hero tells us that the former emperor, Raft Milla, has hidden in Lurarona village. Shieldina and Sadina settled matters with their families and became the maids of the new empress, Raftalia. The aftermath of the war was taken care of. The scene then shifts to Naofumi with Raftalia, the new empress. She says, "As your sword, Naofumi, and as the empress, I will never abandon you, and we will stay together as we have always been. But what will you do about Siltvelt?" He tells her, "After what you said, I must stop on the way back and hold a parade. Then it will be time to fight the Phoenix." The scene then shifts to Motoyasu. A girl is trying to escape from him, begging him not to kill her, but he doesn't understand anything she says. In his mind, she appears as a pig, and he understands nothing of her words. He attacks her with the airstrike spear and kills her instantly. A lot of blood spills, then he leaves her. In the morning, Naofumi returns with Raftalia to their village, where the people give them the best reception. Everyone is happy, and with this happy ending, our episode for today concludes, and this part of this wonderful anime ends. Wait for us in a future part, but we ask you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive everything new from the world of anime.